Assalamu alaikum. You're listening to The Hikam with Shaykh Zahir Bacchus of the Lote Foundation. This podcast has been brought to you by Seeker's Guidance, the Global Islamic Seminary. Help us spread the light of prophetic guidance to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Make a small donation at seekersguidance.org/donate. As little as $10 a month can help people find life-changing guidance.
We've reached number 135 in the Hikam of Shaykh Ibn Ata'illah. This particular hikmah we're covering this morning, Shaykh Ibn Ata'illah talks about the one that you should companion, or those who are the best of companions, or those who are the best of, who are best towards you, or best friends to you, or him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being precise. So I'll use an example before we actually talk about what he's talking about, and we translate it, inshallah. Someone who, if you look at the people who you are close to, if someone would examine the people that they're close to, or examine who they consider as a friend, or consider to be close to them, what characteristics would they have, or do they have? What characteristics do they have? Or who would you want to befriend? Who would you want to befriend? Obviously, there's characteristics of friendship, of friends, that we would, or people that when we meet or we get to know, that endears them to our hearts, that we generate a fondness, a love for them. That likeness or that generation of fondness to them is simply because of their traits, because they may treat one well, they may speak to one well, they may deal with one in the best of words and actions, courtesy, they may be very pleasant around you, and so on and so forth. They may be very loving towards one. And so those types of, that character, those type of adab, those types of etiquette, the etiquette that is shown, endears the person to you, Now, that person becomes endeared, they likewise may reciprocate that type of love, that fondness, those actions, those character traits, and so on and so forth, and you forge a relationship. Now, think about if someone shows you a bad face, or is not courteous to you, or does not do things that you would expect that it should be done. They did not offer you kind words and actions, and so on and so forth, and so on and so on. Would you befriend them, or would you think that they're your friend? Would you think that they're good people, or they're not good people? But would you think that they are someone that you can rely upon, and so on and so forth? So Shaykh Ibn Ata'illah poses this, he says something, but it's a pose of a question for us to think about, something for us to tafakkur, to deeply have thought and contemplate over. And so this is what he says about this concept of sahbah. He says, "Ma sahibaka illa man sahibaka wa huwa bi aibika alimun wa laysa dhaka illa mawlaka al-kareem." So he says that no one is your friend but he. No one is your friend but he who is your friend, while knowing your faults. No one is your friend but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he means, but he is who Allah is, but he who is fully aware of your faults, is fully aware of your aib, of your faults. And that is no one but your all-generous master. وَلَيْسَ ذَاكَ إِلَّا مَوْلَاكَ الْكَرِيمِ. And that person who is your friend, and he stays your friend while knowing your faults. is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our friend? Because Allah subhanahu asked us for certain things. He asked us to pray. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us and to fast. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do well with one another in akhlaq base. He asked us for certain etiquettes to be put across. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us to do certain things and to avoid certain things. This is our master, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who asks us He commands us to do certain things, and He commands us to avoid certain things. He asks us to stay away, to abstain from certain things. The things that He asks us to do, we may not do it. We may mistakenly not do it. We may amdan not do it. We may intentionally not do it. Or we may not do it well. We may not do it as well as what He deserves it to be done. Or we are negligent about abstaining from things that He told us to abstain from. A word may slip out here and there. An action may be done that would lead to a sin, and so on. But while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows of our flaws, of our faults, while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows of these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still befriends us. How do we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still befriends us? Even though we make mistakes every so often, we slip words in that are disgraceful, we do things that He has forbidden, or we come close to things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to abstain from. How do we know that He still befriends us? Does He remove any of the ni'mah that He's granted you? Does He remove your health? Does He remove the ability of you to walk, to articulate? Does He remove the ability for you to smell, for you to hear, for you to distinguish colors? Does He remove any of the blessings that He has given to you, or does He increase in those blessings at every moment? Those blessings still comes to you, because at every moment is a singular blessing that comes. And those singular blessings are multiplied every moment. So at every moment there is a blessing for eyesight. At every moment there's a blessing for eyesight. At every moment there's the blessing of hearing. At every moment there's the blessing of moving one's limb. At every moment there's a blessing of a neuron firing, so that neuron tells your synaptic cords of your brain to fire or to move this limb. All that is a blessing that comes every single moment. Your friend, your true friend, is someone who accepts you the way that you are, takes you the way that you are, takes you, in hopes that you get better, in hopes that you become a better person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, what Shaykh ibn Ata'illah is saying, is that friend. And he's saying no one is your friend except who? Except Him, except Allah, who remains your friend while knowing of your deficiency, your faults, your aib, the flaws that you have, the faults that you have, and so on. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Kareem, because He is Illa Mawlaka Al-Kareem, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala displays His generosity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He displays it by not removing. But He's generous in that He continues to pour forth upon His servants blessings upon blessings. He continues to pour forth those types of the blessings that never end, the types of blessing that never ceases, or the type of blessings that you can never discount of. You can never discount of. And this is the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to His servant. This is the blessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to His servant. And so if you know that no one is your true friend except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you know that no one is your true friend except Allah, then how should you be? How should you be? How you should be is that you should have the best of etiquette towards Him. You should have the best of etiquette towards Him. Knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remains your friend, even though there is deficiency in what you do or what you present towards, or what you present in terms of actions and words towards Him, in terms of obedience to Him. And you should feel ashamed for him to see you do something that He has that He has forbidden you to do. Or you should feel ashamed for him to see you do something that He has made disliked for you to do. You should feel ashamed. You should have yastahi. You should feel ashamed before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala befriends you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala befriends the mu'mineen, the believers. And the greatest of the gifts is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to is Iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not extract it from the hearts of the believers because they have not fulfilled their duties. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not extract Iman because you make a slip or there is a conscious act that is sinful, that is done. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time to return to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time to ask for forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time to seek His mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time to turn to Him in tawbah, to turn to Him and return to Him by asking for His pardoning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you time. That is someone who is the most generous, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is someone who is who is truly a friend of yours. And then he says, خير من تصحب من يطلبك لك لا شيء لا لشيء منك يعود عليه. So he says the best to be the friend is he who wants you for yourself, not for something that returns to him from you. لا لشيء منك يعوده عليه. So he says in the second part of this hikmah, he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the best to be the friend of the person is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who wants you for yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you for yourself. He does not befriend you because He wants something that returns to Him from you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't befriend the believer because He expects something to come back to him from you. Doesn't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala befriends you out of the purity of Him creating you, and out of the purity and perfection of the Iman that He has given to you. The Iman, the faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not, as He said, does not continue or is your friend simply because you are sending something back to Him. Your prayer, your salah, your fasting, your sadaqah, your recitation of Quran, because those things go to Him with deficiencies. Because those things go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with deficiency. They go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, maybe with parts of it being insincere, maybe with parts of it being impure, maybe with parts of it co-shared with others in the intention, maybe unintentionally. maybe they go back to him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not befriending you because of those acts, or those things, or something that you have that returns to him from you that you have done and goes back to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala befriends the servant simply because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, and He's the most merciful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Razaq, the one who is the provider. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of those who are generous. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most generous. And so He displays His generosity, and He displays His compassion, and He displays His mercy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you and befriends you for yourself, because in yourself is the ability to get better, and the ability to improve. And in yourself is the ability to become close to Him through acts and through purification, through purifying oneself, through working on yourself and developing yourself and striving for a relationship with Him, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and striving to learn and to practice for oneself, to learn and to practice for oneself, and striving for love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, striving for that love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants of the servant. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. Shaykh ibn Ata'illah here is focusing the person on what? On understanding what? That when you are in a need, that you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you want something, turn back to Allah subhanahu, because He accepts you the way because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to give to you if you turn back to Him. Even if you turn back to Him, after a sin. Even if you turn back to Him with all of your faults, or all of our faults, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still going to accept your turning back to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still continue to give to you, even though you turn back to Him and you're not in the best of condition. Even though you're not in the best of condition, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to give to the believer. Will continue to give to the believer. Even the believer who denies His favors, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still continue to give. Even the believers who turn and deny, or do not see, or is veiled from seeing the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pours down upon them or descends upon them. Even those believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still maintains and turns to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the most generous, being the most merciful, being the most given and the best of provider, that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has characterized Himself by. And that's what He attributes to Himself. This is the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the believer, what is the believer to do? Knowing this, what is the believer to do? The believer continues to strive. For what? Continues to strive to purify himself or herself. The believer continues to strive to make their salah perfect. In terms of outward, in terms of inward. In terms of knowing what they're saying. In terms of perfecting their relationship, their closeness to Allah. In terms of perfecting when they give in sadaqah, that their left hand does not know what their right hand gives. That the believer continues to strive for that perfection. For the perfection of their acts of worship. For their acts of worship. That they strive to purify those acts of worship from ghafla, from being heedless within it. That they continue to strive to have the best akhlaq, the best of character, and the best of etiquette, that they show the best of etiquette and the best of character, that the believer continues to strive in their wanting and desiring of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for no other reason except for Allah to be pleased, not for other people to be pleased. That they strive for perfection, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to get the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Allah to be pleased with them, not for anyone else, but for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they strive, and they continue to strive, fully knowing that it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has befriended them. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has befriended them. And as long as they want that friendship, as long as they want that friendship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to befriend them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still be waiting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still be waiting for them to perfect their acts, and for them to ask, so that He may answer them, and so that He may give to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. He wants the believer to ask, as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down in the last third of every night. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, who is it that is asking for my forgiveness? Who is it that is seeking my mercy? Who is it that is asking so that I may give to him? These are what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala poses to the believers every night in the last third of every night. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala poses to everyone, to the believers. So whether He finds you where He should find you, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not find you where He wants to find you, there's still room. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still leaves room for you to enter into that place and that time for you to ask. He still, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not find you where He wants to find you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still descends upon you His mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still descends upon you blessings. He still descends upon you those blessings, and the mercy of His and His generosity still comes to you. But if you want to strive and you want to gain a stronger relationship and a stronger bond with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then He should find you where He wants to find you. He should find you where He wants to find you. And He should find the question that He wants you to ask Him. And He should find you making the request that He wants you to request of Him. And He should find you asking of Him what He wants you to ask of Him, in the time and the places that He has guaranteed that He will answer you in. If the believer truly wants to strive for closeness and for His love, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and guide us and forgive us, have mercy upon us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in knowledge and practice of our deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our elders, our parents, give them good health and long life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to serve them in the best of ways. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to increase our love of them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who are sick or ailing, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heal them and cure them. Those who have passed away, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them His mercy, His maghfirah and His shade. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children, keep them on the straight path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve and protect them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our families, our loved ones, our relatives, our brothers, our sisters, our sheikhs. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them, provide for them, increase them in closeness to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shelter them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to gain from their states, from their hals, may Allah subhanahu from their goodness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspire us to be like those that He strikes as good examples. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst His most righteous and His most pious of servants. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our homes from amongst the homes of the believers. Make our last words and deeds our very best. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by Seeker's Guidance, the Global Islamic Seminary. Visit seekersguidance.org to access reliable Islamic knowledge taught by qualified teachers. We offer a wide range of courses, podcasts, articles, and a world-class answer service. Support us in spreading free, reliable Islamic knowledge to millions around the world by becoming a monthly supporter. Visit seekersguidance.org/donate and make a small monthly commitment today. Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever guides someone to goodness will have a similar reward." So don't forget to share this podcast and spread prophetic guidance.